Hi everyone, thank you for joining today's session, Building Better and Secure Enterprise Spring Apps on any Cloud, any Kubernetes. Before we begin, just a quick heads up. This session will be recorded and you can catch the video online later. If you have any questions during the webinar, don't hesitate to use the chat features. We will be setting aside dedicated time for Q&A. Now, without further ado, let's extend a warm welcome to our speaker, Sajid Anikal, Solution Engineer Lead India from VMware Tanju. Sajid, over to you.
Thank you, Vurim. Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for giving your precious time to join us on this webinar, knowing more about what is new with respect to Spring after the Broadcom acquiring VMware and how the Tanzu platforms helping you to quickly develop and deploy application using Spring on any cloud and any Kubernetes. Quick introduction about me, Sajid Ainikal. As Vurim mentioned, I lead the Tansu Solution Engineering team for India. So we are a few engineers who closely work with our customers to adopt the technologies like Spring and Tansu platform to deploy their application at scale on their platform of choice. So my background, I spent good amount of time as a developer, and I was privileged to work with some of the iconic companies who helped to transform the Java as well as the application development, whether it is Sun Microsystems, Oracle, then Pivotal, who really created the Spring Boot, and now part of the Broadcom through their acquisition of VMware, right? Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or Twitter. And my specialties now, it is more around the Kubernetes and Cloud Foundry application development. Hope I'll be able to share some of my experience and knowledge with you in this webinar and help you in your transformational journey when you are moving from your legacy application, whether it is on Java or Spring Boot 2.7 to the latest Java versions using the platforms. When we look about a developer, right? So are the developers are happy, right? So I'm sure on this webinar there are a lot of people are doing application development. Some of them are in managerial roles, but one thing you need to look at it is see whether your developers are happy. Why? Recently there was a survey done by McKinsey, and as per this report, right, so they called out something called developer velocity index, right? And the findings of the survey is, right, it is a very exhaustive survey. I encourage you to go and read this on McKinsey's website. They surveyed close to 500 enterprises of different size, and what came out of that survey is that companies with developer velocity index higher, they witnessed higher revenue growth, and it's even 4 to 5 times of revenue growth. And they are more innovative, right? They are 55 times more innovative than the companies where developers are not happy. What are the things really makes a developer happy, or what are the factors that can impact a developer happiness? Based on this findings of the report, as well as so we all know we are in this industry for quite some time, right? There are certain factors which are always becoming as common factors affecting the developer happiness. So one is about the technology choice. The developer should be able to choose the right technology stack for the job, right? And when there is some kind of pre-configured templates or ready to use code, right, so they will be able to quickly create the business applications, right? So along with this, collaboration have an important role to play. So if I'm a developer, I would like to share my knowledge, some of the APIs or the documentation I create with my other team members, and this will help them to leverage this, as well as they will be help me to eliminate some of the defects or the bugs in my code, right? So as an organization, if you develop some of the process and practices which will be thriving collaboration, can really help in developer happiness. Then comes the automation and the turnkey operations, which will really help to save the developer time, right? Because the organization will get benefited when the developer is able to quickly deploy the applications. If they get a push button scale of infrastructure when they want to test something, if they can leverage a GitOps methodology to push the code into the production, all these things can really improve the developer happiness. And how this is possible? It is through a turnkey operations, right? An organization where you don't need to run from pillar to post to get the things done, they will perform much faster, right? And they will be quickly release the products, and this will contribute to their revenue generation. And a developer working on those kind of organization were found more happier, right? And the security, it's a key aspect here. No developer wants to be in a situation where they developed and deployed and code, and in the later there was a critical vulnerability in the code, and everybody has to work on warfare to address that, rather than shift lefting the security, right, and enabling the developer to identify the security risk and mitigate it at the earliest in the development cycle. This can contribute to the developer happiness. So if you look at the 5 or 6 key aspects we spoke in the previous slide, this demands for something called an application aware platform, right? What is an application aware platform? Typically, if you look into any modern era of application development, you have different choices. You have platforms like the cloud, where infrastructure as a service, you will be developing and deploying applications on VM, or there is a concept of the containers, Kubernetes, so on and so forth, right? But typically what is observed is that most of the time the developers spend their time on non-productive activities, which is not directly impacting their business outcomes, right? The developer is supposed to write the business logic which will help the companies to release the product faster, whereas they will spend time more on mundane ops activities, configuring a load balancer, configuring a network, configuring some policies, so on and so forth, right? So an application aware platform will help you to increase the time developer spends on development activities. That is the fundamental concept, right? And this is where the value line comes, right? Where do you draw a line with respect to what a developer is supposed to do, right? By adopting application aware platform, you will be able to increase the time that developer spends on writing the quality code. And just to expanding this concept, so look at it from a developer and operator standpoint. If I'm developing a the business application, what really developer cares is primarily about, I want to quickly get a source code repo, and I should be able to kickstart my project, right? I need to have some database schemas and application architecture ready, and there should be a lot of the scaffolding available. And if there is a config variables required, I don't want to put these things into the code. It will be good if I have certain kind of mechanism where I can completely separate out these dependencies from source code, right? And this is where all the concepts of the 12 factor or the 15 factor application comes into play. When you look from an operator standpoint, again, operator has a lot of things it has to achieve and do it in a secure manner, so that developer doesn't needs to get slowed down, right? But most of the time, all these activities we have listed out, if it is an infrastructure as a service, still operator has to do these aspects, right? So the things shown, it's in black in color, this is still to a major extent comes as part of your infrastructure as a service or the cloud services. But on top of it, right, all the the 15 or 16 odd things given an operator end up doing themselves or building some automation around it, right? But doing this in a very systematic way and in a repeatable manner will help the developers to achieve what they want to do, right? This is the concept of an application aware platform. And with the Spring and Tanzu, we exactly try to address these aspects, right? Spring comes as a developer framework, and the Tanzu comes as a application platform, right, which really automate all the things an operator loves to do, right? So we will see that what are the new things which really going to make life easier for the developer and operator from Spring and Tanzu standpoint. So what is Spring? I don't want to spend too much time on it. I believe most of the people joined this session. They are either developing on Spring or they are aware about Spring and Spring framework. But just for the new people who are not heard about the Spring, Spring is world's most popular open source Java framework. So this is in existence for the past 20 years. And Spring Boot, which came close to 10 years back in 2014, which today controls 70% market share for the Java microservices development. So if you are starting a new project in Java, in all probability, your developer will be starting it on Spring Boot. Why people choose Spring, right? So the biggest advantage of Spring is that Spring is simple, right? It is basically developed with the fundamental principle that to eliminating all the complexity of Java Enterprise Edition, right? So 20 years back, the Spring people created this platform looking at, if I have a business problem, I should be able to solve this by writing a simple Java program. I don't want the bulkiness of a Java application server. This was the concept, right? And in due course of the time, right, people started to adopt this, and more frameworks and the patterns evolved, right? So when people started to create application, they realize, okay, these things can be repeatedly used. Let's create a framework for that. So this is the way, even from the Spring framework, there are the new patterns like the Spring Cloud. Then there was Spring Security, then Spring Data. There is 50 plus the Spring project now in existence, and these are all basically evolved because of the productivity and speed aspect Spring provides through its opinionated approach. And this is the real statistics from the recent JetBrains survey, like how the Spring Boot and Spring MVC framework, which controls the Java developer ecosystem. And the proof of the pudding is that the customers or the large adopters of this technology, right? I'm sure all of us are at least hitting our Netflix OTT daily, if not weekly, right? So the Netflix, the complete application ecosystem is built on top of the Spring and Spring Boot. We will see a small case study by Netflix in the end of the session. Similarly, there is a leading product development companies, Fiserv, Intuit, the banks like Citi, JP Morgan, then retailers like Target, right, Dick's Sporting Goods. See, all these people are using Spring to create their mission critical applications and deliver value to their customers. And all this is because of the innovation Spring community brought into the last few years, right? And there is a saying that, right, so Java is still alive because of the Spring, right? Because after all this the confusion whether the who will be the maintainer of the Java Enterprise Edition and all, the ecosystem is still thriving because of the innovation the Spring community brought in, right? And this shows in the adoption in the last 5 years, right? We have seen 50% year after year growth for the Spring. And this is not only because of the contributions VMware made into this ecosystem. Yes, VMware is still the majority contributor of the Spring, but there is a large and thriving technology ecosystem driven by the cloud providers, some of the leading ISVs like the MongoDB, Cassandra, Couchbase, so on and so forth, right? So this is the most vibrant Java community, and that is still thriving, right? So what is new into the Spring, right? So I'm sure most of you are aware about the release of the Spring Boot 3.0 as well as Spring Framework 6.0, which is happened around 1.5 years back, right? So now we can see a kind of an adoption wave. This is because most of the companies who are invested in Java, they are seeing Spring Boot 3.0 and Spring Framework 6.0 as the next the Java framework or Java platform, and they wants to build their innovation right on this foundation. And there are certain reasons for this. The one important aspect is that Java 17, which become the next long-term support version after Java 8, the Spring Boot 3.0 and the Spring Framework 6.0 is based on Java 17. And along with this, right, Java J2EE becomes the Jakarta, and the Spring Framework and Spring Boot 3.0 based on the Jakarta 10, right? So the industry wants to get the benefit out of this new innovations in the Java framework by moving into the Spring Boot 3.0 and Framework 6.0. So another aspect is in Spring Boot 3.0 and Spring Framework 6.0, we support ahead of time compilation and Graal VM support. So this really helps in two aspects, right? The ahead of time compilation really improves your startup speed, and this contribute to the developer experience. If you wants to really reduce the memory footprint, and if you wants to save on infrastructure cost, so now the Graal VM support is there, so that instead of you are compiling it as a Java bytecode, you can compile it as a a native binary image and run on it, right? And there are few other innovations also happened on this. For example, in Spring Boot 3.0, we have changed the tracing from the Spring Cloud Sleuth to the micrometer based the tracing and monitoring, right? So this really helps the platform to be more aligned with the modern microservices frameworks, and will help the platform or the frameworks to leverage the latest monitoring and the logging mechanisms. But this poses certain challenges, right? As you all know, the Spring Boot 2.7, right, which was the major release, and industry has put a lot of time and effort to bring their application into Spring Boot 2.7, right, which is based on Java 8. But one important aspect is that when you migrate from Spring Boot 2.7 to 3.0, so the first thing is that you need to migrate to the new JVM, which is Java 17, which is pretty straightforward, right? Of course, there should be some libraries, dependencies you have to look into, and you need to change from the Java X dependencies into Jakarta dependency. All those things are there, but you can move from the Java 2.7 to 3.0 with a certain organized manner, because there is a lot of tools and capabilities available from the Spring community as well as VMware. So this being the fact, right? So in our day-to-day life, when we are interact with the customers who are deployed applications on Spring Boot, there are certain concerns from them. The first concern is that most of the customers who have developed and deployed application on Spring Boot 2.7, they wants to move to Boot 3 with the Framework 6, because of the reasons we have just listed down, right? They want to reduce their memory footprint and improve their developer experience, so on and so forth. But they kind of hit on a roadblock because their applications are so complex, and the dependency management, right? Because there is a lot of libraries which are either referring into the Java 8 or the Java EE syntax, and there they need a help to move into the new versions of the Spring. The other aspect is that the industry has realized a need for long-term support of the Spring, because Java offers the long-term support for Java 8, and Java 8 can run up to 2027 or 2030 based on which JVM provider you have. Similarly, the industry is looking for a long-term support for the Spring Boot 2.x before they can move to 3.x. At the same time, right, the people are having the mission critical application, whether it is on a financial sector, or is it on a healthcare or any other business critical sectors, right? So they are getting the compliance issues are flagged by their CISO or the security teams, because the Spring 2.x applications, it is old, and now we all know that the open source community has stopped the support for Spring 2.x, right? Spring Boot 2.x, because the last release for Spring Boot 2.7 was on November 2023, right? After that, there won't be any release for any of the Spring Boot 2.x or older version of the even Spring framework. So this is a concern for all the enterprise users, and they are looking forward to creating an upgrade strategy, and this is where they need help, right? Because their applications landscape is so spread across, and it is having different versions of the Spring and Java, and at the same time they want some kind of framework where they can train their developers on the new innovations in the Spring Boot and Spring framework. So these are the the different aspects we are hearing from the enterprise Spring users, and now the Broadcom have certain answers to address these queries. The first thing is that a renovated Spring runtime support model. Spring runtime support was there in VMware as well, but what is changed recently is one, we have extended the long term support program for the Spring Boot 2.7. As per this, the latest update is that Spring Boot 2.7.x will be supported till 2025 November. So you have close to the 16 months at hand for upgrading your application, right? And along with this, right, as part of the support model, Broadcom offers the support for almost all the Spring project, right? If you go to spring.io and list down the project, each project you can just click on a support tab, and you can see something like you are seeing on the screen, right? So there will be a green bar which really shows the open source support window for this project, and the yellow bar which is an extended support. This is comes under a commercial contract from Broadcom. So this is available for almost all the Spring projects, starting with the Spring Framework and Spring Boot. Along with this, Broadcom provide the premium support for OpenJDK as well as the Tomcat, right? Because many of you are attending this session, you will be running your Spring Boot applications on a standalone VM or in a Docker container hosted on a VM, right? So what is your default choice of application server? As per the latest survey, JetBrains survey, Tomcat is still controls the 60% of the Java application market share. So if you are deploying your Spring and Java application on Apache Tomcat, basically under this support model, Broadcom extend the long-term support for Apache Tomcat as well. So this is again, it's a consolidated view of what is covered in the support program. As I just described, the commercial support is at 24/7 support for open source Spring project, OpenJDK, and Tomcat, including the long-term support for end of open source supported version 7 and the version 8.5 of the Apache Tomcat. Along with this, we provide the binary downloads of Tanzu TC server. Tanzu TC server is an enterprise grade Tomcat distribution by VMware now Broadcom. And the latest version of the TC server, it is compatible with the Jakarta EE10 servlet specification. But if you are on an older version of the Apache Tomcat and you are looking for long-term support, under the Tanzu Spring Runtime program, you will be getting the support for Tomcat as well as OpenJDK and all the Spring project. Along with this, we have announced an Spring Enterprise Artifact Repository. So this is a very new thing. This was introduced to the market in January 2024. So what is the relevance of this, right? Before this, all the fixes for the Spring versions, it used to come only to the Spring Maven repository, open source Maven repository, right? But moving forward, for all the commercial support period, right, the bug fixes, new versions, CV mitigation, all those things will be released through this artifact repository, which is available only to the customers who are subscribed to this. So for example, if you are on Spring Boot 2.7, so your versions will be 2.7.18, which is the last open source release. If there is a vulnerability and if Broadcom addresses that through a new release or a new fix, so this will be released into this artifact repository and made available only to the customers who subscribe to this program. So for example, we have already released Spring Boot 2.7.19 as well as Spring Boot 2.17.20. All these things are released only through this private repository. So why it is important for you? One, you are getting more time at hand to plan for your upgrade, right? So you don't need to just change your priorities from creating applications providing business value to just keep on upgrading your Spring project every 6 months. Through this long-term support program, you will be getting close to 18 months to 2 years sometimes to upgrade to the next release of the Spring framework and Spring Boot. And along with that, so we are adding more value to this offering. Some of these things are the commercial implementations of the Spring Cloud services as well as Spring Cloud data flow. Also, we are adding more capabilities such as a Spring Application Advisor. So whole purpose of Application Advisor, which is currently in beta, which will be available soon. Using this, you can analyze your entire Spring project landscape and see where it stands now with respect to vulnerability state, and you can plan for an upgrade. And this application advisor will help you to create a migration plan and execute it seamlessly. Spring Health Assessment Report. This is again, it's a new thing VMware by Broadcom introduced in January 2024. It is a free self-service assessment tool. Any one of you can just go to Spring Health Assessment page, just Google it. You will get it on the Tanzu page, or we have given that as an attachment. Just go there. You need to run a simple Maven command and you will get a file. You need to just upload it and you will be getting a report which talks about your current status, what are the Spring dependencies and potential security issues. And why it is important? Because today, if you look into your Spring project, there is no structured way to know the vulnerability status of this application. Of course, before your code going into the production, your organization will be running some kind of security analysis on top of it, using say Aqua or the Trivi or any other tool, and it will flag out some of the vulnerabilities, and your security team will ask for remediation, right? But it is comes in a very late at the deployment cycle. But how you can identify the security status of your Spring program at the development stage itself, that is what this tool helps you to do that. And what is in the report? The report provides your OSS support status, open source support status of the particular the Spring project you are using, potential security vulnerabilities, and it will give you some recommendation about how to mitigate this risk, right? One recommendation will be moving to the latest Spring release, right? And it will give you a kind of idea what is the migration effort required, so that you can plan well. And as I said, running this, it is pretty straightforward. We encourage all of you to run this across your Spring project. You have to just go to your Spring folder. You are all using the Maven, right? Just run a Maven command. It will create a text file, and this text file will be having information only about your Spring projects. It's a dependencies. It will not capture any of your business logic, any other information, because Broadcom is very stringent about the safety of the customer information, and we are not capturing any of your sensitive information, right? And this is also, you can read from the Broadcom website under the Spring Health Assessment. So all the information we capture there, it is just about your Spring project library's name, right? That's it, and the version information. Once you upload into the website, within 15 minutes, right, you will be getting this report in the real time, right? So it is you don't need to wait for more than few minutes, and you are getting a self-assessed report, right? And this will really help you to plan how to remediate the issues in your library, and it will improve your software compliance, and of course it will help you to plan accordingly, whether to go for a long-term support program, or you need to really upgrade to the latest version of the Spring. So now, after seeing about what is the new things in the Spring, let's spend some time about what is the Tanzu platforms offers here to make life easier for the developers. As you know, right, Tanzu in the market for some time, and the Tanzu really empower the organization to accelerate and optimize their application delivery across any platform, right? So the platforms are very modular in nature. It is application aware, and it will help you to achieve the agility in a secure manner. So we have basically two different platforms. These platforms are for two different scenarios, two different set of use cases. One is Tanzu Application Service, which is built on top of the proven Cloud Foundry platform. It is a very opinionated platform to deploy cloud native applications, and it has a best in class integration for Spring. And Tanzu Application Service built on Cloud Foundry. This you can deploy it on any cloud, whether it is a VMware private cloud or Amazon, Azure, GCP, Oracle, IBM, you name it, right? So wherever a virtual machine is running, literally you can deploy this platform and get all the automation and the secure delivery of your applications. Coming into the right hand side, you have the Tanzu application platform. So this platform really tries to provide the same kind of experience, where in Tanzu application service you have a concept of CF push, right? I'm a developer writing the application. I deploy the application wherever I want through just a simple command. What if I can get the similar kind of experience on top of Kubernetes? That's exactly what Tanzu application platform tried to provide. It is a modular platform built on Kubernetes. So it expect a Kubernetes dial tone underneath and can be deployed on any conformant Kubernetes, so that developer doesn't needs to get into the complexity of the Kubernetes. And what is common for both these platforms? So both these platforms are optimized for Spring applications. It helps to improve the collaboration between the developers, because both these platforms have a developer portal built in, which is based on the popular Spotify Backstage, which will help the developers to find the templatized code, share the documentation, and they can view their application, the pipeline, so on and so forth. And as I said, it can be deployed on any infrastructure, any cloud at scale. So now, talking about the Tanzu application platform, I'll spend a couple of minutes here. So this Tanzu application platform really helps to separate the responsibilities for the three different personas, starting with the developer, application ops team, or the platform engineering team, as well as the SecOps team. On the left hand side, on the blue box, which we call as inner loop, this is exactly what a developer is really cared about, right? Developer wants to quickly start developing an application. Once that application is written, before they first check in the code so that the build process kick in, they wants to do an iterative development, and they wants to collaborate with their peers as much as possible. One biggest challenge with respect to the Kubernetes development is that the developer most of the time, right, develop on environment, whether it is a mini cube or their own uh, uh, you know uh, their own environment. And once it comes into the build stage, a lot of things will be popped up, right, and developer has to really go back and correct it. But through this inner loop, right, the Tanzu application platform provides a Kubernetes environment where the developer can connect through their IDE, whether it is a Visual Studio Code or IntelliJ. They will be having a environment which is closer to the production environment, because it is a full-fledged Kubernetes environment. Then they will be having a ready-to-use scaffolding. We call it as application accelerator, whether for Spring application or any other application developer has to work on. These predefined templates will help them to jump start the application, and it is having a built-in pipeline. Using this, the container images are built, and the developer can test it without knowing any Kubernetes primitives. Also, using the tilt, the developer will be able to inject the code and test it in real time. Then once the developer is satisfied, developer can check in the code. So this is where the outer loop will kick in. The one shows as the yellow in color. So the fundamental principle of outer loop is that all the concerns of the developer is separated from operators, right? Operator has to worry about securely building and deploying the application on whichever environment they wants to deploy it. So this is where consistency is very important. So in Tanzu application platform, we leverage the cloud native build packs, which is again, it's a CNCF project. And using cloud native build packs, you will be able to build the container images without the help of Docker file. So this frees the operators and developers from maintaining the large Docker files. Then there are consistent Kubernetes conventions, which is aligned with what the developer has seen on a developer environment. And there are multiple pipelines which you can deploy based on the environment you deploy, right? And this is a completely composable pipelines. It with a strong default, for example, the Tecton as the default pipeline, but of course you can use Jenkins if you want. Similarly, we will be signing and scanning these images using the tools available from the open source. But if you want to change it with your own scanning and signing tools, this is very much possible. So that way, the Tanzu application platform helps to deploy the applications quickly, securely, without knowing Kubernetes primitives. So this is a platform you need to look into if you are really looking to improve your developer experience on Kubernetes. And the beauty is that today Tanzu application platform supported on almost all the well-known Kubernetes runtimes, whether it is on Tanzu, whether it is OpenShift or GKE, AKS, EKS, you name it, right? You can deploy and run Tanzu application platform at scale on any Kubernetes. Now coming into the other platform which we spoke about, right? Not everybody is ready for Kubernetes. You might be developing and deploying application on top of VMs today. If you want to have an easy path to deploy your Spring Boot and Spring based application, this is what Tanzu application service can offer, right? This is a turnkey integrated platform as a service which can be deployed and run on any cloud of choice without any hassles of operational challenges, because this platform really bring in the automations to the highest standards. So we have seen the customers who run Tanzu application service without any downtime. Even if you want to upgrade the platform into the newer versions, there is no impact on the applications. So this platform, it leverages the concept of the containers, and internally the applications still run on containers hosted on the VM, but all these complexities are abstracted from the user. The developer has to write the application code the same way they do today. They package it as a jar file, or if it is a Spring application, just give it directly. So the platform will build the container image and host it and run it for you on a VM based system at scale. And this is a reason today, many of the Fortune 500 companies uses TAS at scale to deploy their applications. And this is a platform in the market for more than 12 years. And here is some interesting example, right? How an application hosted on TAS really touches our real life scenario. So if you take an example, right? So Utah is a popular place in US where people go for skiing, right? If a person wants to go there for skiing, right, the person has to buy a snowboard, they have to make an online payment, then this skiing board has to be delivered to the doorstep, has to do certain assembling and some installation. Finally, when we are skiing, this has to be tracked on the smartphone using popular skiing applications. And there are satellite basically helping you to do all this tracking and all those things. These satellite also needs a lot of application from their protection as well as management. So if you look at these different aspects of a real life use case, so there are companies who runs the application related to these aspects on top of tasks, starting from Dick Sporting Goods hosting their entire the catalog and the customer facing application on TAS. And there are leading major card processors leveraging TAS for their e-commerce portal. Similarly, there is two major auto manufacturers use the TAS for their telemetry services, and even the US Space Force, they deploy a lot of application related with their satellite management on top of the Tanzu application service. Similarly, for Tanzu application platform as well, this is in the market for the last couple of years, and we are seeing a lot of adoption for the customers who are creating modern application on top of Kubernetes. So one key aspect of running this product at scale is treating your platform as a product. This is where the platform engineer's role is very key. And one biggest benefit of using the Tanzu platforms is that you will be able to optimize your platform engineering team with lesser team members, you will be able to run and support many applications and make many more developers happy. So these ratios are based on the real-time statistics from our customers. So look at the cases, right, where one platform engineer is supporting 500 plus developers in really advanced customers. So the Tanzu platforms really helps you to achieve these kind of automation with respect to your Spring application delivery. So this is my last slide. I just want to spend some time on this live case study, which is there on the public domain. So you can go to Spring One videos and search for how Netflix is upgrading from Spring Boot 2.7 to 3. So there are certain learnings they listed down there. One, Netflix has started this journey even before the Spring Boot 3.0 was out, right? So but now for yourself, right, it is a high time you need to think about it, right? So when are you moving your business critical application to Spring Boot 3.0, right? And this video will give you some of the technical pitfalls you need to be aware about, the steps you need to take, right? And you need ample time at hand to do this, right? This is where the Spring runtime support from the Broadcom comes in handy. You will be able to get this support and plan your migration. With respect to the Netflix, how do they achieved through using a lot of open source tools and guidance from the VMware team. They have automated a lot of this migration, and now many of their 3000 plus applications are started to move to Spring Boot 3.0. And one important aspect of this video is talking about the 1500 libraries, right? And if you are a organization sitting with a lot of Spring Boot 2.7 with application, this is one area you really need to look into, right? The application migration might be straightforward, but it is not the case with the libraries, because of that internally referring into a lot of Java EE or the Java X kind of references, which all these things needs to be moved into the Jakarta references, right? So this is where we can really help you. My recommendation, please spend some time to go through some of the links given on the attachments. It talks about this case study, it talks about the Spring runtime support and all the Tanzu platforms, what is new in these platforms, and this really can help you to run your Spring application securely on any cloud. With this, we can take some questions. Vurim, do we have any questions from the audience?
Yes. Before
Okay,
we go
go
to
ahead.
the presentation, Q&A, thank you for suggest for insight presentation. Now let's delve into some questions from our audience. First one is there any possibility of extending the long-term support of Spring Boot 2.7 and .x beyond November 2025, or does it mandatory to complete the migration to 3.0 or a test by November 2025?
Okay, that's a great question. Yeah, so that shows that the people are aware about the end of support for Spring Boot 2.7. So the answer to the question is it depends, right? So if you are a follower of the Spring public website, so the earlier open source support date ending was November 20. It's even before November. I think it was August. Then we extended that into November. So then for the commercial support, it was supposed to be February 2025. Then it's got extended into the August 2025, right? So it's all depends upon what is the market demand and how quickly customers can move, right? So our recommendation is that you start your planning, start your journey. So work with us. We can really guide you in this path. and the Spring runtime support really help you to address the security vulnerability issues coming on this period.
Great, Enzo. So next question is, does Broadcom provide deployment only license of Spring and Spring Boots?
So okay, so I can understand the probably the background of this question, right? Because the Java always have a development license; it was always free, and the Spring Boot. So we follow the same, right? As you know, it is an open source technology. There is no license required for the development. From a Spring runtime licensing standpoint, there is nothing called it's a development license. But if you are developing an application and you are doing a testing before you go into production, for example, you have a development and UAT kind of environment, right? So for these environments, yes, you need to license, but you don't need to license for your development workstations, right? And again, the license of Spring Runtime required only if you need the long-term support for this end of open source versions, or you need to have a first-hand access to the Spring architect. So with the Spring Runtime support, right, the biggest advantage, you are developing application on Spring Boot 3.0. So you want to know what are the new features, what is the best way I will create my system design. So under this support program, you are getting access to the creator of the Spring, right? You will be getting Spring architects can come on the call and guide you if that situation arises. That is the value of this support. But no, there is no developer license as such.
Good. Okay, third question from the audience. It's very good question, I think. You have mentioned about the inner loop and outer loop aspect of Tanzu application platform. Can you use tab only as a Kubernetes development environment, as we have a well-defined CI and CD in place to build container images and deploy it to the production?
Okay, great question. So as I explained, when talking about Tanzu application platform, this is a composable platform which is built on open source components. So what does it mean is that, right? So if you want to just use it for your development purpose, right, as you know, just to empowering your developers, you can use it, right? So you can just use your Tanzu application platform as your development environment, and once the image is created, you can still use your existing CI/CD process to take it into the production. So it really helps you to start using this with the baby steps without disrupting whatever the CI and CD process you have already built in. But there is one aspect, right? The biggest benefit of the Tanzu application platform is it's a secure supply chains which comes as part of the outer loop, right? So when you have created your CI/CD, you know the complexities of maintaining it, right? If a change required, right, how much firefighting has to be happening, right? So this is where the secure supply chains comes really handy, and you will be able to integrate some of your existing tools as part of the secure supply chain. But yes, you can start with using it for your just development purpose, then you can really experience the value and you can integrate with your existing CI and CD.
Okay, great. Last question, but it's quite interesting question to me as well. So after acquisition of the Pivotal, we heard that the PCF, Pivotal Cloud Foundry product went to sustaining model. Is there any new developments or feature additions happening to PCF?
Okay, so just one thing I want to clarify here: the Pivotal Cloud Foundry, it is very much in existence, and the Tanzu application service, which I was explaining, it is the new name of the product, right? So PCF equals Tanzu application service. Now about the question whether it is on sustenance mode, any new development is happening, right? It was never on sustenance mode. The product is very much into active development and new features are getting added, because as I said, It is in the market in the last 12 plus years, and a lot of customers are running their mission critical application on top of TAS or the PCF, right? And now even Broadcom is investing more into this product and adding more and more capabilities. And the reason one we have announced is that the beta that is still in beta, it is for developing your Gen AI kind of applications on top of TAS, right? So for developing the Gen AI applications, using the TAS, the Bosch framework, which is doing all the infra automation, you can basically deploy the LLM models on top of VMs, right? And an application running on the TAS can consume that in real time. So a lot of innovations are happening both on the TAS as well as on the TAP side. So as I said, both these platforms are for similar use cases, but for different set of people, right? If you are completely on Kubernetes, you want to do the development on Kubernetes, you have a very well engineered Kubernetes platform engineering team, then you can choose the TAP and provide this to your developers. Whereas you are predominantly developing on VMs, and you are not comfortable with the Kubernetes, but you want the similar outcomes, then TAS is the way. Both provide the similar outcomes, but through different routes.
Great. Okay, so with the limited time, I think suggest is any call for action and conclusion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, thank you once again, everyone, for spending this last 1 hour. So what I would suggest is that, right, the Spring is, very innovative, and it's reached this stage with your contribution, right? So you're all actively giving suggestions, actively developing application. Please contribute to the future of Spring, because there is a survey we are doing. The link is given in the attachment. Please take the survey, give your feedback. And Broadcom wants to make the Spring as the next generation Java framework for the modern application, right? Then use the Spring Health assessment on your projects. This is a good tool at hand of your developers. Please do this yourself. Let us know if you need any help required. It's very straightforward. The link is given is in the attachment. Platform, as I said, there are multiple choices, but it's all based on the outcome you want to achieve. So you are the right person to judge which platform suit your requirement. So we have given the links to both the platform details, what is new in both TAS and TAP, right? Please go through that, and feel free to reach out to your Tansu team for the Spring runtime support, as well as for your platform workshop, because you are running on Spring Boot 2.7 means it's a end of supported version, because no more open source fixes will be available. So either you need to migrate to the latest version, which is still in open source support, or you need some kind of long-term support if you are running mission critical application. Please reach out to us if you are running critical Spring runtime, Spring framework, or Spring Boot based application. So that's it from me. Thank you once again. Thank you, Vurim.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. For any further inquiry regarding Tanju, feel free to explore the official VMware Tanju webpage or to our account team. Today's webinar will be available on demand on BrightTalk and online in the coming days. A big thank you to all our participants for joining us today. Until next time, take care. Bye.
Thank you.